Oh, yeah.
Well, and look, he's already having issues. We've been here for 5 seconds.
Oh, bloody hell.
Wow.
Right, carry on.
Should we reset? Should we? Hold on.
No, it's fine.
I'll take us away. We're off the screen now, right? And we'll go again.
It's fine. It's okay. We're all right.
Well. Good afternoon, John.
Hey, good afternoon, Ben. How are you, old boy?
I'm okay. Let's review what just happened.
I wheeled my chair into a hard drive which fell over, and then the cables got tangled round the wheel of the chair.
Good start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start as we mean to go on and all that. Start as we mean to go on. Now, I'll tell you, John. There's been some nuts stuff in the news these past few days, isn't there?
Yeah. There's been some really annoying stuff in the news, hasn't there?
Can anybody say transgender Jesus?
You can say it, yeah, if you want. Why would anyone come out with such nonsense?
Because they are woke morons. They have what Elon Musk lovingly calls the woke mind virus. And it's not going away, is it?
No, it's not. And this guy's like a dean or something.
He's a dean at Cambridge.
Cambridge Uni?
Yeah.
That's just mental.
Welcome to the 21st century, John. This is our lives now.
Yeah, and then
the only saving grace. I was going to say the only saving grace is you won't be around as long as I will to see this reach its logical conclusion.
Well, you're saying that, but you never know.
No, you're absolutely right. I could get hit by a buzz tomorrow and all of that, but
you could, yep.
But yep. If that doesn't happen, then I have to endure more of this than you do.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, mate, but I don't envy you.
No, I don't envy me either.
Because I used to think, the best days of humanity were always ahead, and now, especially after not watching, but seeing the thumbnail you made for us. I just have to think the best days for humanity have long passed.
I know. Did you see the thumbnail, Mr. Hancock, there, covered in his goo?
Yeah. See, and I was thinking about this. This is you know my theory of the infantilization of us all.
Yes.
Right? With grown men walking about in shorts.
I don't think that's a theory at all.
Yeah. Okay. And this is Tiswas brought into mainstream adult entertainment, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. That's really
all it is.
Of course it is.
And it's but people are sitting watching it and
every night,
egging them on and enjoying it, and it's like, I mean, I know when I was a kid and I used to sit there and build my Lego and things like that, which I really enjoyed, and played with trains and all this. I really enjoyed doing that, right? And I thought, I will never stop playing with toys.
And you haven't?
I haven't, but my toys have changed. They have become more adult in nature.
Sophisticated.
Grown up.
Expensive.
But cameras and things and doing stuff like that. But I don't sit and play with Lego anymore. And it doesn't... even if I did sit and play, you me, but if I did sit and play with Lego, it doesn't give me the same joy that it used to give me as a child.
See, I disagree, but then again, I'm the one sitting here in the red Santa hat.
But you're still quite young.
Yeah, I love, when my kids get a new Lego set and they can't build it, I'm just, out of the way! Dad's here!
Yeah.
I'll do it!
Yeah, okay, but it's not so much the building process, it's the fact that the imagination isn't quite as active. It's harder to suspend disbelief as one gets older, and I think that's what makes one more of a grumpy but accurate reviewer of things like movies, like what we do 100 Acre Swamp.
Why do you think I go to Disney as often as I can? Because
to try and retain your youth, which is slipping away from you at an ever faster pace.
Yeah, I know. I'm starting to look
Sorry,
my age.
Or were you being rhetorical? Sorry.
trying to immerse myself into a magical world, to suspend my disbelief and recapture my flailing youth.
And I'll be honest. I mean, Universal to an extent still does that for me, but Disney doesn't anymore. Disney doesn't.
Yeah, but I can't get to Universal. At least I can just drive to Paris.
Yeah, no, I know.
So,
I'm just saying that. I mean, Disney used to do it. It used to be good, but they've lost the plot as well. Though they're like a discarded Lego set.
Are they like a discarded Lego set?
A wee bit.
And with that, tell us why we're here.
I'd like to welcome everyone to episode 166 of Chasing Dissent Live with me, John, and your other host, Ben, the cheerful and chirpy one. I'm the grumpy and depressing one.
Really?
I don't know. Anyway, 166. All right.
God, that film better be good.
I'm actually really looking forward to it.
It comes out this week. It better be good.
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm going to go see it. We'll put a review up on the other channel. Maybe we should put the review up on this channel, purely because they see scenes from it every day.
Yes, possibly indeed.
Well, if it's good, the review will be up on this channel. If it's shit, it'll be on the other channel.
Review. Yeah.
So
Why not?
You'll know our opinion there and then, before even clicking on it, by which channel it's on.
Oh, Natasha's grumpy today. I thought I was grumpy with my poor sleeping pattern last night and grumpiness this morning, but movies are all shite, she says.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. I love you, Natasha, but I also love several movies. It's as simple as that.
Speaking of movies,
well, before we do move on to the first slide, look at this abomination right here, right?
What?
It's almost good.
Your microphone?
No, your logo. Your logo. It's almost good. It's almost great. It's almost perfect.
It's not finished.
But
it's just it's a teaser of what's to come.
And what might go on some T-shirts and mugs.
Yeah, I don't think it's an abomination. What makes you think it's an abomination,
The
Ben?
missing parts of the C and G, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Right, so, people, maybe it's time for a poll. Can we do that on Discord?
We could do that on Discord. I'm sure Adam would be able to set such a thing up.
Yeah, so maybe time for a poll. So, should the whole world of chasing be visible, or is it acceptable for the kind of sniper scopes to encapsulate some of the lettering? You can still see what it says. So yeah, you choose.
It's unacceptable, John. It's unacceptable.
I don't think it is. I think it's a valid design choice.
I think that you think it's a valid design choice.
And yeah, okay, but your design training and everything is well known.
Let's move on. First slide.
First slide. So, part 2 of the current Wag the Dog story appears to be that the US are deciding to move back to Subic Bay in the Philippines.
Oh, is this anything to do with China?
China! Yeah, of course it is. Because China's obviously aggressively moving into other countries. So, are they? Did they? Well, anyway, so China's obviously being aggressive, and America is going to move back into Subic Bay to offset Chinese aggression, to make them stay in China. But isn't this kind of what NATO did with Russia, which eventually poked Putin into sweeping into Ukraine?
Well, yes, but still, it's a bit late for that because United States, the Belt and Road Initiative.
Yeah, I know.
The Belt and Road Initiative. The ship has sailed.
Yeah, but this is purely because of Taiwan.
Yeah, of course.
And Taiwan wouldn't even be in the news right now if Nancy hadn't gone there.
Also true.
That's true.
Nancy should never have gone to Taiwan, and then the delegation after Nancy should not have gone to Taiwan. Basically, the US should leave well enough alone over there.
It's like, stop poking the sleeping bear, stop poking the sleeping dragon, you know? Leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah.
You know, take them on economically if you can, right? If you can. But stop trying to bluster with your fighting prowess, because there's going to be a short coming out probably today, maybe tomorrow, that just shows you the US in a really bad light when it comes to their military.
How many US military shorts do we have on this channel now?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite a few. I like the one that really blew up was the best equipment, but pilots, maybe not so much.
Maybe not so much. But speaking of quite a few, what's on Mr. Musk's bedside table there, John?
Well, he appears to have a collection of ornaments and discarded cans of diet caffeine-free Coke, the gold one. You can't get that anymore here, can you?
Oh, you can, yeah. My wife drinks it all the time. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, it's caffeine-free. So not only does it have no sugar in it, it has no caffeine in it, it's doing nothing but giving you a weird synthetic tinny taste. Who enjoys this?
Yeah, I mean, what's the benefit? I don't know.
Well, it's certainly not keeping him awake. It's not keeping him alert in any way, shape, or form. But my eye is drawn to that rather large revolver.
Yes, there's a revolver, and then there's the flintlock in the display case. Yeah, the revolver looks fine. That's looks like a sizable weapon.
It does look like a sizable weapon, yeah. Do you think he's had gun training?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but yeah,
why wouldn't he? I mean, he's got the time, he's got the money, and he's a potential target, so it's probably worth taking a little bit of training.
I think you're probably right, and he'll have so much security on him 24/7. I would imagine.
Yeah,
personal security, bodyguards, people like that need it. Speaking of Mr. Musk,
speaking of needing security. What are these clients got it done now? So, the Sussexes, or are they still called the Sussexes?
I have no idea. Neither do I care.
Yeah, but they've only gone and got an award.
What?
For standing up to racism in the monarchy.
Who's given them this award?
They were awarded a Human Rights Award for standing up to racism in the monarchy.
What?
This is mental. This means that
Wait.
This is all poking at the Queen, isn't it?
Wait. You mean the racism that nobody except them says happened?
Yeah.
That racism.
And Prince William's already come out and said there is no racism in the monarchy.
Well, like I said, there probably is. I mean, Prince Philip was probably a casual racist. I mean, he was definitely a casual racist, wasn't he? Let's face it. But
what, Phil the Greek?
Yeah.
Oh, he was a scream.
Yeah, but you know, the point of the matter is this, that there was no public racism, as in any disparaging. Well, not that I saw, anyway.
Well, just the odd comment from Philip, but apart from that, yeah. So I mean, this is my fucking goody two shoes here. You know, it's her. This is all her.
Oh, I need to stand
Making
up to
things up.
racism.
Yeah, making things up because she wants to be in the public eye. I mean, her dad's whiter than old. What's his name? Old Harry Hewitt there.
Oh yeah, he
Henry
is.
Hewitt.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her dad's a very, very, very white man.
So see these people that they identify as black, like her and Lewis Hamilton, right? Whose mother is very, very white, right? How can they identify as black when they're not? They're not. You're not 100% black just because you've got 50% of black genes.
See,
this is the part I don't get.
See, you're absolutely right, but it's not something that we're allowed to question. Wrong skin colour.
Oh, of course, that's right. And unless you're Gary Lineker, who is, as we know, Black Gary.
Yeah, Black Gary.
You can't question it at all, can
Must be having a terrible, terrible time in Qatar there, old Black Gary, mustn't he?
Yeah, raking in the millions. Yep. Raking in the millions.
Yeah, good old Black Gary and his gaffer of the week.
The filthy money that he's raking in. So this is a letter that was written and sent to signed by all these congressmen and sent to the Justice Department in the US.
Right.
Asking why a number of different groups were left out of the terrorism classification.
Including Antifa?
Including Antifa and this was in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And it was asking why the Azov Battalion of Ukraine was not included as a terrorist organization. That's the US congressman that signed that, and that's what it says in the letter. Why is the Nazi Azov Battalion of Ukraine not included as a terrorist organization?
Because optics, John, optics. Can't have.
Well, who was in Ukraine in 2019? Our friend
Hunter. But remember, John, it was two laptops.
Yeah, it was two laptops.
Two laptops.
And people need to get it into their heads. There is more than one laptop out there. There was two of them, both in for repair at the same time. He's obviously spilt something on them, or they've got very dusty, maybe. And
then quite possibly imbibed so many narcotics thereafter that he simply forgot he did it.
Yeah.
Hunter. What are we gonna do with you, you old scamp? But then again, we go back to some of the stuff that, I mean, you did a video on the channel called The King of Cool, because the way these media organisations were portraying all the shit that was coming off his laptops, it's like, this dude's a baller.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, let's face it, he was having a cracking time.
He's fucking naked water sliding. Who doesn't want to be naked water sliding?
There were some dubious clips in there. Very, very dubious clips, and I would probably say, if you dug into them, there's a good chance you'd find they were illegal.
I think,
you could be right. It's Hunter, but I
mean, I don't think he's smoking tobacco from that glass pipe, John.
Well, it wasn't that. It was the other people in the human race that were involved.
The ones that looked perilously young.
Yes, those ones. Yeah.
Yes, those ones. And it definitely wasn't tobacco in those glass pipes he was giving those perilously young ladies, John.
No, it wasn't.
I'm not going to spitball or suggest what it was, but it definitely wasn't tobacco.
It wasn't tobacco, mate.
And what happened? What is a consequence of being on crack? You might end up speaking your mind and speaking freely, and basically I think Don Lemon of CNN thinks that everybody is going to end up on crack.
No, Don Lemon is, and it's hard to say it, but the man is mentally impaired. Right?
You're only just realising this.
He's not the sharpest tack in the box, Okay. He really is thick. Or as you would say, he's as dumb as a bag of rocks.
No, that's insulting to a bag of rocks, John.
Yeah, it probably is. But yeah, so he thinks that free speech on Twitter will literally be killed by allowing people to speak freely. But that's the left for you, because free speech to the left doesn't mean free speech.
No,
free
it doesn't.
Speech to the left means you will say what we want you to say, and you will not deviate from that narrative.
Absolutely it does. And this is what they mean by free speech being threatened, is that they won't have the power. And this goes back to what I said last night, is what I've said before. These people are so terrified of losing the power that they amassed on this social media platform. And they are scrambling. They are doing anything they can. They're trying to get it removed from Google Play and the Apple App Store. And Elon's already said if they do that, he'll just make his own phone. So... And you
Indeed.
know what? People will buy it. If he makes his own phone, he could literally call it the Twitter phone. And
Would
people...
you buy it?
Yeah, probably. If I had any money.
Okay.
Would you?
I don't know.
I like Twitter. I'm not gonna lie. I like. This is the issue.
I don't really use Twitter on my phone. I use my laptop or my PC to do Twitter.
Yeah, okay, I understand that, right? But this is the issue. The issue being that people are terrified that their ideas, their narratives, their demands, their commands do not add up to scrutiny. And any time that we scrutinize, they could just throw down the banhammer. And then the narrative prevails. But now, under this new regime, it is alleged at least, you are going to be able to question narratives. You are going to be able to hold a mirror up to these people. You are going to be able to hold their ideas to scrutiny. And they know they are full of shit. They just don't care. Because they haven't had to care. Because they will go as far as to lie about you in order to get you removed if you come close to hurting or harming their narrative, their way of thinking, their way of life.
Yeah, and now that power's been removed, they are struggling. They are.
I mean, even Sargon of Akkad is, Carl Benjamin. He's back on Twitter, and people are already sharing fake screenshots they made of his Twitter account, saying that he's for people under the age of consent having sex. And it's not real, but they want him gone. They're scared of him, and so they'll make this up.
They keep jumping up occasionally and having a go, like someone put something up the other day and it showed you the people that died from flu in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. And 2020 went from worldwide deaths in flu are roughly around about 30 to 35 million every year. Okay, so that's just the flu people, 30 to 35 million every year. Okay, and they're quite consistent. 32 million here, 35 million there. Boom, 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 boom. 2018 was a bad year. I think it was about 40 odd. And then it came back down again to about 35 or something. And then 2020, 0.015 million died of the flu. What? But 32 million people died of the coof. And of course, the instant response is, where did you get this? The bag of cornflakes packet. Well, no. Try World and Data. Try having a fucking look. These people, they are so retarded that they don't think about going and checking the data before they start jumping in, going, hey, where did you get this? The bag of cornflakes packet. Fucking idiots. I have nothing but contempt for you.
No, I have nothing but contempt.
Scum-sucking maggots.
I have nothing but contempt for people who want to shut down the conversation because they can't argue the toss. Their ideas don't stand up to scrutiny. They know they are wrong. Because if they didn't know that, they wouldn't attack you as a person, your character, or anything like that. They'd go, well, actually, here's the evidence that you're absolutely wrong. But they can't do that.
Exactly right, because they don't have the data, because the data doesn't exist that supports their argument.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. And then arguably, what's happened last night after Morocco beat Belgium is the Moroccans are essentially the leftists, right? So here we go.
Yeah.
Riots have broken out in several Belgian and Dutch cities after Morocco shocked Belgium by winning 2-0 during a World Cup clash in Qatar. Now, the riots are not the Belgians. They are not rioting because they lost.
I know. The headline does make it sound like it would be the Belgians that have gone nuts, but no. These are not Belgians that are rioting.
It's the Moroccans.
They are not mostly built like or look like Hercule Poirot. No, the Moroccans have decided to come out in force in Belgium and in Brussels and places like that and start burning cars and burning buildings and rioting and pulling down power cables. And look at Amsterdam here on the image. It's insane. I don't understand why this is deemed acceptable. Well, it's not acceptable, but it is acceptable by MSM, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they're not. Because look at that headline. Just look at the way it's structured. You would think it was the Belgians that came out and rioted. No, it's the non-native Moroccans burning down the country that they are in because they beat the country that they are in. Well, 11 Moroccans beat 11 Belgians at football. Wow, that's really a reason to go out and trash a place, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. Because everybody's a child these days, and they just go and have a tantrum or show off.
Well, and
everybody's the bloody same. I mean, these people are probably educationally subnormal, right?
Right.
You know, they've not had any kind of real education at all. They've probably not had as much exposure to Western style influences, so they think it's perfectly fine to just do things like this.
Well,
there was one the other day. I know it's not fine. There was one the other day. A migrant followed this Dutch woman tried to follow her into her house. I mean, she walked into her house, and he's like 2 steps behind her and goes to walk in the house. You know, so I mean, you saw it on camera, and she pushes him away and shuts the door. You know,
and rightfully so.
But these people, this might be acceptable in Somalia or whatever, you know, but it's not acceptable here.
No.
And these people need to the hammer needs to be brought down on them, because look what happened in Sweden. Look at the rape statistics in Sweden. They went through the roof, and now Sweden won't accept migrants at all. You know, and that doesn't get mentioned on MSN. It doesn't get mentioned that the Parliament voted last year to stop all immigration to Sweden. You know, you can't get into Sweden as a migrant anymore.
Well, certainly not as an illegal migrant.
Well, not legally, but I mean, they were taking people, but not now. You know, but still never mentioned on MSN.
I mean, you get people like Peter Sweden, who's documenting all of these bomb attacks that keep happening, grenade attacks here and things like that, and it isn't the Swedes doing it. That's
no, of course it's not.
To point that out is a fact. That's the reality of the situation. Now, if you're going to go and live in another country, you should fall in and integrate with the values, customs, traditions and laws of that country. And, you know, that's why I won't go and live in China. That's why I won't go and live in a Middle Eastern country, because I don't fall in with those values. They're not values I would want to adhere to, and therefore I would not want to live in that environment. And if you're going to come to an environment and bastardize their way of life, then I say you shouldn't be there. Honestly, I don't care who you are. I don't care what colour you are. If you're a white man living in Qatar, a white British man living in Qatar, and you don't want to abide by the Qatari laws, they might be shit, they might suck, they might be awful. It's their laws. Abide by them or get out.
So, I'd like GB News have dropped a bombshell on us this morning.
They have
an absolute bombshell.
I can see this bombshell here.
I don't know where the hell it came from. And Father Calvin Robinson it said UK government employs behavioural scientists to influence the opinions of the British public. Really? I mean, hold on a minute. Did we not point out that SAGE was comprised of mostly behavioural scientists?
But for nearly 3 years now, yeah.
Yeah. So, GB News, good job. You're really getting there.
But GB News aren't great, are they? GB News aren't great, let's face it.
They're shit. They really are shit.
They're not great. They're not fantastic. But then again, did we expect anything allowed to go over the mainstream airwaves and on Sky and Freeview and things like that to be great, to be fantastic, to be objective rather than subjective? No, we did not. You have to have an ESG score. God damn it!
Yeah, well, I mean, look at some of the people. I mean, we spoke about them last night, like Tom Harwood and Sophie Kirk. I mean, what the hell are they getting a voice on GB News for?
I don't know, because
why are they on mainstream media?
But
really?
What do they bring? What do their voices even bring to the table?
Oh, nothing. They bring nothing because they say nothing of import
or value.
And one of them just flip flops all over the place. Mm-hmm. Well, in fact, they all do. They all flip flop all over the place, just jumping on the current bandwagon and then getting slapped down and changing their mind and then jumping on another. It's just pathetic. It's children being children. That's what they are. It's pathetic to watch.
Yeah.
No opinion, no critical thought. No delving into the real stories behind what you see in the headlines.
No.
You know, GB News, you're just a joke.
I mean, they did turn up at anti-lockdown protests to interview Alan Miller of Together. Down the road from the protest. Down the road from the protest. Not actually at the protest. Or they hung on the back of the protests, but they gave it, breathing space, a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of airtime. But they weren't in the thick of it. They weren't down there on the ground. They weren't interviewing, the average person to find out why they were there, what they believed during the anti-lockdown protests. And the anti-lockdown protests were verboten in this country. The police... the police attacking anti-lockdown protesters got no airtime. I was there. I streamed it live. Mm-hmm. It happened here in London. And the vast majority of the general public was seemingly on the police's side for doing that. What's changed?
Yeah, but now the narrative seems to have switched because these anti-lockdown protests are happening in China.
Oh yeah, big time, from what we can see.
And the police are cracking down on them, but they're picking on sometimes the wrong people because... And regardless of what you think of the organisation, this guy is probably out there trying to do his job properly, right? And he's been arrested by the police. Now, and we'll get to the reasons why. And you can tell them the reasons why in a minute, Ben. But this guy was dragged off by the police in handcuffs.
BBC journalist, by the way.
Yeah, BBC journalist Andrew Lawrence, I think. Anyway, you could be heard shouting. I mean, we've got a short up already on it, so you can see more there. But he was heard shouting back to Barry to phone the consulate immediately. Phone the consulate immediately, Barry. Yeah. Phone them now. and he's probably right, because regardless of what you think about the BBC or the people working for him, this guy's a human being.
Yep.
He's been arrested by a regime in which people disappear regularly and are never seen again.
Absolutely. Edward Lawrence it is.
Edward Lawrence. I was right, yeah. So
carry on.
But people are mocking this and laughing, saying, good enough, it's good enough for the BBC to have this done to them. This isn't the organisation that's getting this done to them. This is this is a person that's getting this done to them. Whether he works for the BBC or works for us, why would it make any difference as to him being arrested?
No, you're absolutely right. But
I'm quite In fact, I'm very disappointed in people that are mocking this, because this was a serious situation that had the potential for a complete and utter fuck up.
Oh, absolutely, and could have ultimately led towards being the ignition for a war at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't be doing this. They shouldn't. But also, what can we garner from this?
But they did it for good reasons, didn't they, Ben? What was the CCP? The CCP acted, in their eyes, completely not. And see, this is a problem, because they actually do think that they acted properly and they did this for the right reasons. And what was that reason, Ben?
Well, I would like to read you a statement from BBC News' press team. It was put out Sunday, 27th of November, so last night. So this is the statement in full, and please try not to laugh. The BBC is extremely concerned about the treatment of our journalist Ed Lawrence, who was arrested and handcuffed while covering the protests in Shanghai. He was held for several hours before being released. During his arrest, he was beaten and kicked by police. This happened while he was working as an accredited, they have to put that word in there, journalist. It is very worrying that one of our journalists was attacked in this way whilst carrying out his duties. We have had no official explanation or apology from the Chinese authorities beyond the claim by the officials who later released him that they had arrested him for his own good in case he caught COVID from the crowd. We do not consider this a credible explanation. So...
Sounds fair.
Sounds fair to me. Yep.
They were just acting for his own good.
Yep.
Of course they were.
So
of course they were.
They're going to use this COVID. They're going to continue to use this as an excuse to crack down on anyone and everyone, isn't it?
Oh, of course, it's a catch-all for everything. It really is.
At what point? Well, I mean, obviously the general public here who called for gulags and other things for anti-lockdown protesters are now going, oh, China are fighting for their lives, and this is what pisses me off. The hypocrisy. The people that were fighting for your life and freedom, you wanted punished. And now the people who are fighting for their own existence and freedoms in a faraway part of the world that you can't see unless it's through a screen, oh, these poor souls, these poor sods. You were those poor souls.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, and your peers and colleagues in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, everywhere in the world, you were those poor people, apart from those in Sweden, Taiwan, and Japan.
Are people that stupid?
Yes, people are that stupid.
That they can't even see the disconnect within their own brains.
Well, they need... This is cognitive dissonance, is it not? So they cannot make the connection, because if they make the connection, it then admits to themselves that they were wrong and they were duped. Right? Well, and nobody likes to be fooled. So they just won't make that connection. And that's why people are still standing in line, why people are still wearing face coverings, why people are still queuing up to get a little prick. You know, that's why they're still doing it, because even in the face of, I would say, insurmountable evidence that there is very little benefit to be gained from anything, they still queue up and do it.
Yeah, and but I guarantee you, so I've got to go to the pharmacy. I've had a text message today, some prescriptions already. You know what happens when I go to the pharmacy.
Yeah.
Right? They queue. They're still queuing outside, but I guarantee you, some of them people in the queue at the pharmacy will be the ones on Twitter going, "Oh, those poor Chinese people!" Whilst they're standing in the unnecessary queue. Yeah,
because they're. I mean, it's just brainwashing. It's conditioning, and I mean, the state has become more and more nanny-like over the previous years leading up to this starting. Now it's become full blown, nanny state, in so much that it's now in Scotland applying restrictions to football clubs during their training. So they are not to engage in any training that involves repetitive heading the day before or after a football match?
I'm guessing because of brain aneurysms.
Well, there is
I'm gonna question that.
There's some evidence to suggest that repetitively heading a football does give you, minor concussions, right?
I could imagine, if you're repeatedly doing so.
Long term impairs your cognitive function. And let's face it, we are dealing with footballers, so any impairment of cognitive function is going to be a big problem for the majority of them. So I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to keep these people out of the care homes that they're going to end up in early, Well,
then I can kind of appreciate it, but banning it, right? Maybe giving a bit of advice, okay? Stop hitting yourselves on the fucking head with a ball so many times, guys. If you do, nothing we can do about it.
You know what? See if you want to go and smack yourself over the head with a football multiple times, and the problems and issues that might occur, but you still choose to do it. Surely that's your choice.
Absolutely, I would say so. If you want to go and get struck about the head by a football, by a shovel, or any other thing, really, that is your choice. And there are so many people who look at all these fucking prank channels. Look at the guys from Jackass, for God's sake. Is that stuff going to be banned at some point?
Is that still on YouTube, that kind of stuff?
Well, they just released another movie, last year. And they're all old now.
So they didn't die?
Well, I think one of them is dead.
Oh, right, okay. One of them did die, right, okay.
Yeah, but he died in a car accident.
Oh.
Yeah, he did all that crazy...
Oh my god, I saw a video. We can't really go into it in great depth here, probably because it involves that middle European country that's in conflict with another country that's not supposed to be in Europe. But bloody hell, it was such a poorly made wag the dog thing that I was laughing as I watched it. It was all about saving Granny from Russian shelling. It was pitiful. The guy ran a car into a tree deliberately
to save Granny.
He drove the car into a tree
to save Granny,
allegedly to avoid the shells that were falling all around them that one could not see, because the person filming it deliberately kept the camera down into the footwell of the car. So you really didn't see anything. You just heard things and you saw glimpses of trees, and then next thing, bang, and you saw the airbags going off in the car. And then it pans across to Granny, and then as they're getting out of the car, you see dents and suspicious-looking holes in the door that actually have been formed by something coming out from the inside. So I don't know how the hell they did that without killing all the people in the car. But anyway, so it looks like somebody's been sitting in the car and shooting out through the door, and then not realising that because he's going out through the door, the exit, the metal goes like that and opens up. So you know that the direction the bullet's gone in. So it was a poorly made piece of
But was Granny
propaganda.
safe?
Oh, yeah, Granny was saved. They were running along. Come on, Granny, run. We know you're in pain, but run. And they got Granny. They got to another car and jumped in that, and then got Granny to safety. And this all happened in the Donbass.
Right.
Which remind me who's been shelling that from 2014.
We can't say that.
Oh, no, we can't.
Can't say that.
Be an inconvenient truth indeed.
Yeah, cannot say that. We leave you to draw your own conclusions on that, but I'll tell you who it wasn't. Putin. That's all I can say.
It wasn't Putin.
Now, I'm not saying Putin's a good guy. I'm just saying from 2014 up until 2021, 2022, it wasn't him. Was it, John?
What? It wasn't.
Putin!
Wasn't Putin.
It wasn't. Speaking of migrants, what is this? What even is this? Well, I don't even know how to segue here.
The emptied Manston. Well, yeah. I mean, some things you just can't make up. The emptied Manston, right? Because I think of the overcrowding. So they just emptied the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Not just take half of them out, just empty the whole thing and decanted everyone to hotels.
Yep.
Right? But then some of those people have got diphtheria. So now they've been told that the ones that have got diphtheria have to stay in the room and have to, effectively lock them down in the rooms if they've got diphtheria or the coof or anything that's communicatable. So, so we're now importing diphtheria into the country, which is a third world disease generally caused by poor sanitation.
Yeah.
So welcome to third world Great Britain.
Well,
not so great anymore.
At the end of the day, I agree with the decision to lock people with diphtheria down until they, are healthy. Now,
well, you know what? It's something we've always done. We've always quarantined the sick.
Yeah.
But never before had we quarantined the healthy.
And we shouldn't. We still shouldn't.
No, we shouldn't.
There's no credible science that says we should. I mean, I won't delve any deeper than that. But it's common sense at the end of the day. You cut off the infected part, when you're looking at an infection. You don't cut off the entire arm if there's some gangrene. You cut off the gangrene parts and you try and save the rest.
Yeah. You would think that would be it.
But
and then the gangrene is spreading because it appears to have left Scotland and infected Ireland now.
Well, yes, this is the mind virus, isn't it?
Yeah, because Ireland are now intending to imprison people for possession of hate speech.
What does that even mean?
I fucking no idea.
What does that even mean? And what even is hate speech? Who gets to decide what hate speech is?
Well, this is that. See, this is the problem, because all it needs is somebody to turn around and go, "No, it's offended. He offended me."
It's hate speech. Oh.
Yeah, next thing you know, you're in jail.
Now, I keep seeing this argument on Twitter over and over and over again. Hate speech is not free speech. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Sorry, but it is, right? But the thing is, hate speech is not what you define it is, first of all, right?
Some clown put something on Twitter last night that said something along the lines of, I have the right not to be bombarded 24/7 by hate speech on this platform.
So block words.
That's wrong. You don't have that right.
No.
You have the right to not read it.
And you have the right to curate your own experience.
Person. Yeah. It's the same argument with that TV program offends me. It shouldn't be on TV. Well, you know what? No, it should be on TV, but you can turn off the TV or change the channel.
Yeah.
That's the argument. That's the same argument, people. And it's like, and yet something comes on that someone doesn't like, and the next thing you know, they're on the phone. Oh, Ofcom, that's terrible. It's terrible. No, why is it terrible? Just because you didn't like it, and you get adverts and TV programs pulled because 3 or 4 people complain about them.
Mm.
3 or 4 people.
Do you know what? I'm speaking directly to the people who are perpetually offended by anything and everything right now, and this is going to be a real shock to you people. What I'm about to say to you, but this is the brass tacks. This is the reality of the world in which we live. You do not have the right to not be offended. You do not have that right. You choose to be offended. If something offends you, that's entirely up to you. What you then don't have the right to do is take action against what offends you. You can't go and delete or even harm or hurt Antifa talking to you. You can't do these things because something has offended you. And this is the problem. This is the mind virus, isn't it? The woke mind virus. Because they genuinely believe that if something offends them, that violence has been committed against them, and that they can respond in kind. And by in kind, I mean violently. Yeah. And it's and even going and getting somebody arrested for what they say is responding with violence. Because do you think somebody is arrested without violence? Do you think it's not violence to take away somebody's liberties and hold them in a room or put them in cuffs or, forcibly take their DNA or things like that? Of course, all of this is violence. And you don't have the right to do that to somebody if they upset or offend you. Now, if you've been physically harmed or hurt, fill your boots, right?
Yeah.
But if there are words that you do not like, I do not care. I don't care. I don't care if you don't like the words that I say.
Speaking about the reality in which we live, people don't understand. And this cartoon, I think, sums it up nicely. The reality of China.
Yeah.
Because they think China is a nice country.
Whoever thinks that is just a moron.
And it's a beautiful country to look at. But the rulers of China are the CCP. And they are the most tyrannical, despotic, and evil people that you will ever meet.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely
really
right. You're absolutely right.
And this is what we're doing to China right now. We've grown China from a little cub into a full-blown lion. And at any point, it's going to turn around and take off your arm, right, or your head.
Well, the Belt and Road Initiative. What do you think it is?
Exactly.
It's inroads into being able to take over vast swathes of your country.
And the other question is, why did we pay China £58 million last year?
Your guess is as good as mine, considering they've got a way bigger economy than we do.
We paid them £58 million in aid.
Why?
Foreign aid.
Why?
To China, £58 million.
Why?
I don't know. I have no answer for you, mate. Moving on
to Jason Nichols. Polls predict a wipeout for Rishi Sunak's Conservatives at the next general election. Reform Party UK is transforming UK politics, returning control of democracy to the British people.
Right, there's two things in here. One of those things is complete and utter
bullshit.
Right, and that's returning control of democracy to the British people, because democracy is an illusion.
Yes.
There is no democracy in this country.
Yeah.
You are living under the illusion of choice. There is no choice. There will be a wipeout for the Conservatives because, and we said this at the time, if the Conservatives have elected Sunak as a leader, then he is an unelectable representation of conservatism. Therefore, you will lose. The red wall will fall and it will be back to Labour. It will not go to reform. They will not go to reform. They will go back to Labour, because the people that made Boris's 80 MP majority were not traditional Conservative voters. They were Labour voters. And they will not go to the Reform Party, because these people will just switch straight back to Labour.
Of course they will.
That's pretty much... We are now guaranteed to have a Labour government in the next general election.
Terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, because... Well, I don't know what Sunak and Hunt are trying to do. Are they trying to soften us up so that it doesn't look so bad when Labour get in? Because they've just given us a Labour, budget, haven't they?
Well, I would say so. High taxes, low growth. That's the Labour Party for you. But no, you're absolutely right. They're not going to go to Reform UK. They're not going to go to Reclaim or whatever Lawrence Fox's party is called. They're going to go to Labour, and they might go to the Lib Dems, right? But they're going to stick with what they know.
Yeah, they won't be going. They won't be going to that mob called Reform.
They won't.
And anyone who tries to change the current system from within is onto a loser, because it's just not going to happen. And I keep banging on about it. There is no way of changing the current system from within. You're the only way of changing that system is by extraordinary means.
By extraordinary means, we mean getting rid of the system in full. It's got to go. Something new's got to take its place, and until that happens, there will be no democracy. The illusion will continue. Speaking of the illusion of democracy, what's going on here?
So the desire for a net zero referendum is growing amongst the public. So it would appear that the public are maybe not quite taken in by the climate change narrative as the government would like to think.
No, they're not.
And they're asking for a referendum as to whether we should be applying some of these policies or not. And I think that's a fair question. If we live in a democracy, that might happen. Do we live in a democracy?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
So I don't think it's going to make any difference.
It'll make no difference whatsoever.
Yeah, I think we'll still have our bans on petrol cars and things, and boilers. I think all that will still go ahead.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? They are literally going to freeze and impoverish us to virtue signal.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's to virtue signal, nothing more, nothing less. Let's move on, because the time is getting on. So from Dagny Taggart, Washington Post, the desire of ordinary Germans to help Ukraine is weakening in direct proportion to the number of Ukrainian refugees in the country.
Because, right, if you read the next part, right?
I can't read it.
Okay, it's not just about energy costs. Our research finds that Germans have a deep cultural aversion towards military intervention.
Enough said about that, the better, I think.
That must be a new one.
It must be quite a new one. Is that German guilt? Is that what you're trying to tell me here?
I think that's what it is.
As German guilt. We do not want this on our hands. We are Germany. We do not do this. No. Let's move on.
So, and the New York Post.
The gift that keeps on giving.
So, and it comes via CNN. So, CNN claim that daylight savings time changes, right, disproportionately impact people of colour.
Why?
I have no idea. I don't have time to dig into it. The headline's sufficient. There could be no scientific reason for that. Because...
Oh, you mean just like old Cranky up your end? Climate change, the biggest victims of climate change are women and girls, aye.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no scientific reason for that either.
No, of course there's not. There's no scientific reason for any of the shit this lot come out with.
Yeah, and there you go. So, like we were talking about this morning, about AIs and things.
Oh, this is quite terrifying, actually.
So San Francisco police are wanting to put an exception in law that allows robots to kill humans in rare and exceptional circumstances.
No.
I would say no as well. Yeah, no.
I mean, it's quite simple, really, isn't it? No.
Yeah, and it should certainly not be able to make the determination.
No.
So no. Right. Now, this is a man, a 51-year-old man, was found dead at the Pipeworks Health and Leisure Club at around 7:55 on Saturday in Scotland. This is in Glasgow.
Yep. It's a Pipeworks, a gay sauna.
It's not a gay sauna, it's just a sauna.
Right.
So it's not a gay sauna. Now, my first question that pops into my head is, did he get his happy ending?
Well, that's generally what happens at a sauna, right?
Yes, and that's the kind of sauna, because it describes itself as a male-only private health club.
So a gay sauna?
No, it's not a gay sauna. It's only men that are allowed to be members. It's not a gay sauna. The masseuses are not men.
Are you sure?
Yes, this is Glasgow. It's not a gay sauna.
Okay.
It's basically a brothel.
So he's got his heart rate up a bit, and his ticker's gone boom.
Yeah, but he's only 51.
Yeah, he was only 51, but you know what other extenuating circumstances could there well have been?
For some reason, the
doesn't say, does it?
We'll skip the next slide, right? Because we've already discussed it in the preamble.
Okay.
And then we'll go to the man.
What?
that spent 30k to look like David Beckham. You know what, mate? You need a refund.
He looks like David Beckham's ball bag. I mean, come on.
He needs a refund.
Believe me, whichever plastic surgeons have done this to you, this is not an advertisement for their services. This is not an advertisement for their services. I mean, Jesus Christ. You can dye the tips. I mean, what is going on there? There's all sorts of... I have questions. I do. There are all sorts of questions that I need to ask here.
We don't have time for questions.
But the first one, I've just got to ask one question here is, why would you want to look like David Beckham?
I have no idea.
I mean, if people saw you on the street, they'd probably like start offering you toys and games. Up. Hello, Victoria. It's me, David. It's me, David.
Oh, Jesus.
That is fantastic. You know.
Right. See this next one. I just can't see it.
No, neither can I.
I can't see the big cat with a long tail.
Is it supposed to be in this photo?
Yeah, it is. But
anybody?
Anybody help out, because I just cannot see the big cat with a long tail.
Anybody?
No, I don't think anyone's going to find that.
I'm not seeing it either.
It's the New York Post. Okay.
Hold on. No cat, says Shalini. I was waiting for some response. Right. Yeah. Massive python bites and drags 5-year-old Australian boy into pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the actual snake.
That snake there managed to drag a child into a pool.
Well, yeah, I can understand that happening, but that's the actual snake, right?
Right.
It's a 10-foot long python.
Yep.
That's not massive.
No.
and that snake is probably just about dead there, because apparently he choked it to death. But yeah, that's not a massive snake. and just to finish off, right? I think I found Michael Jackson at the Qatar World Cup.
Oh God, no! I don't think I want to put this on the screen. I don't.
Oh, I think I did. Because remember, we were talking about this on Friday night, weren't we?
We were.
No, I think I found Michael Jackson at the World Cup.
Do you want me to show them?
Yeah, go on.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Are you sure?
It's fine. If it was the other way round, it would be wrong. But it's okay.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh, it's Gary Lineker's cousin. White Barry. Black Gary and White Barry.
No, so I mean, he gets away with it. Bet we wouldn't.
I'm just gonna leave this up for a minute or two, just to let it linger.
Yeah.
Gaze it in.
Linger.
And you gotta.
Anyway.
All right, I'll take it away.
Anyway, that's us. We're done.
We're done. Are you sure?
Yeah, we're done.
If you have enjoyed this episode, then please consider a donation at patreon.com/Chasing Dissent, or indeed Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/Chasing Dissent. And yeah, this has been an episode. It's been an episode.
It has been an episode. And I'd like to thank everyone for attending this episode 166 of Chasing Dissent Live, brought to you after quite an exciting weekend of non-news and spurious news and comedic news. And then Ben's incorrigible fortnight habit. So with that, I bid you all adieu. It's been great.
For you.
Christmas, all the Christmas trees on fire. Santa's holding the lighter. My parents are both liars. I got gifts but 1 subscribers. Thanks for the candy basket. Oh God, another jacket. My stocking's filled with acid. Am I dreaming? What just happened?